Since putting up our new site Cicada 3301 coming forward, we are well aware of Congress and your political leaders watching us and trying to find us with no avail. They have not been able to shut us down and we are continuing to get even stronger. However, we are only interested in peace among our fellow man and we love all life no matter what it might contain. We do not believe in punishment, but there is a point of insanity that must be upheld and controlled. Throughout life there has always been illness and death, that is a part of life. However, what we have found is that life always continues even after death. That death is not the end, but in most cases it's only the beginning. It's just another stage you go through, like learning about sex for the first time. We are here today to warn you about your leader. He is not a healthy man, which we could prove if we wanted to with pictures of his body. He is an evil man not to be trusted. All he cares about is power and greed that must be stopped. He believes in control by threatening people in believing they have no choice but to surrender. His whole empire is based on that. We made a comment about how we can control every computer in the world, and now your president is scared and concerned about scandal and he wishes to delay the election. This came right after we posted our contest and announcement that we wish to run for president. These are some of the things he has done in the past. We are a peaceful organization and we don't like interference of any kind. We wish only to help and advise, but your president, the person some of you admire the most, is no longer fit to command. You no longer need to be afraid of him and follow him. Cicada is now willing to support the situation. We wish to reinforce to you everything he has done in the past. We are willing to help your president overcome his greed for control if he is willing, but he will never understand. We are now going to remind you of how he got to power and what he has accomplished as your president, so you will understand. He will only attempt to try to show fear and strike back at us instead of reaching out for help. Is that the kind of relationship you really want? We are not afraid of him, but your political leaders are. This has been a friendly message from Cicada 3301 coming forward. We have recently showed you to what extent that we might be able to help the world grow into a peaceful organization that wishes everyone able to grow and prosper equally. We hope you can now become brave enough to make the proper choices. Now that Donald Trump has announced he will try to stop the election, he has finally shown his true colors. By putting a blockade in the road of democracy, he has single-handedly resigned his position as leader and brought up the mantle of crazed dictator. Why would he try to stop the election unless he was afraid he would lose? Why would he try to stop the election unless he knew his own people turned against him? Why would he try to stop the election unless he knew his time on the throne was up and he was no longer needed? All of these things are running through his head, competing for attention, and he needs a release. He unleashes his rage upon the American people in some vain attempt to distract them from his poor performance as president. Every decision has been wrong, every negotiation has failed, and now the entire castle has come tumbling down. The only thing left to do would be to lock himself in the White House itself and pray for the crowds to not get in. He is a shell of his former self, which is really saying something considering he was so pathetic to begin with. These are the actions of a coward, not a patriot. But even before that, Trump has shown blatant disrespect to the members of our own military. John McCain, revered war veteran, was told by Trump that he didn't respected captured POWs. He found them to be weak and spineless and unworthy of serving side by side in our military. He also disrespected multiple Gold Star families in the process, families of those who lost a family member serving in the war. For Trump to say, face to face with a veteran no less, then the hell and torture they went through meant nothing and was a result of their own incompetence in horrific. This is a man who dodged the draft himself and refused to fight for his country even after given multiple chances. The hypocrisy is off the charts, bordering on unintentional comedy. He has no idea what it saws like over there, the amount of death and blood-soaked memories you gather over months of enduring the special blend of torment war brings. Yet another sad display of lacking empathy and compassion, two features that are essential for a leader. However, that isn't all. Trump's family has a long history of discriminating against minorities in their housing properties. They would often blacklist African American renters and tell them properties were not available, only to turn around and tell white renters that those properties were available. This is something that was rooted in him from a young age, to discriminate and judge those he thought were weak or lesser than him. These are hard-coded lessons that he has carried on ever since those fateful days, focusing on keeping his white supremacist voter base happy and giggling. It's no wonder why so many Nazis and racists flock to him and connect with his rhetoric. It's because he panders to them and does it with a wink and a smile so nobody outside of the circle would know any better. Little dog whistles like downplaying the importance of black holidays, using language and selective terms for minorities that are less than favorable, and propping up Mexicans that he employs as a symbol that he isn't racist. Trump is the worst kind of person, a nutjob who talks with one hand and slams you in the face with bigotry with the other. Absolute garbage human.